Hey, welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson, a.k.a. Uncle Tex, a.k.a. Professor Tex. All right, y'all can already see pretty much by the title where I'm about to go through with this here. It's a lot of journalists that I've been seeing that reading different articles about the whole thing that's been going on with that, on what Bogger Mcfarland said about that of Dwayne Haskins. I watched the whole thing when he was talking there with Randy Moss and a couple of other jokers that was there on ESPN, and jumping on him about what he said and how he didn't mention other quarterbacks and stuff, and they're not trying to make it a race thing and stuff like that. Sorry, guys, it is a race thing. Always has been, always will be a race thing. And let me just put it this way here, because somebody brought up the fact that, well, why didn't he bring up Johnny Manziel? Why didn't he bring up Paxton Lynch? Why didn't he bring up Jake Locker? Why didn't he bring up Ryan Leaf and whatnot and stuff like that or whatever? And it's basically a stupid argument for different. I've seen a guy on Yahoo, USA Today, a lot of different people, a lot of different folks was talking about that whole particular situation. Like, he shouldn't be saying that about him. Well, he did this, but you shouldn't be done. I'm tired of black folks sitting up there running around there saying when we have to call out our own. Goddamn, call them out. They need to be called out. Need to be called out. I don't give a I don't care. Call them out. You're lazy bum, you're lazy bum. You black, you're lazy bum, you're lazy bum. Point blank. You know what I'm saying? Now, I've already done a show dealing with that. But I'm gonna stay with this because of them guys that I named. Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football. He basically built the stadium over there, basically A&M, College Station, all the things that he done. Didn't take his craft serious. Too much, too soon. The reason why Johnny Manziel fell in the draft was because of the whole issue of the signing the autographs and getting money under the table. That's why he fell in the draft. Otherwise, he would have been top 5. But we see what happened. He's basically Baker Mayfield. He's basically Baker Mayfield at the end of the day. Baker Mayfield a little bit bigger, takes the game a little bit more serious. Although they're almost similar, he just takes the game a little bit more serious. Paxton Lynch, have no idea why this kid was even drafted. No idea. Except for the fact he's 6'7", they figure, oh, he's going to take over Peyton Manning. Right. See how that worked out. Jake Locker, 16-24 with Washington. 16-24. Could you think that if Lamar Jackson goes 16-24, do you think Lamar Jackson would ever be drafted? No. See, this is what I'm telling you guys. See, this is things that people don't want to talk about that I will talk about because this is what I see. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Leaf, cannon arm, nice career, Rose Bowl victory, whole 9 yards. Ryan Leaf had that. I mean, my man was going back and forth, I said, man, okay, Peyton, and that's the pedigree. Peyton Manning's going to, I don't know, man, Ryan Leaf, man, he this, that, the other. Because he had a little edge with him and stuff like that, because my man likes that type of shit. I'm like, all right, then, whatever. See how that lasted. Come to find out, he had all that stuff, but my man was mentally jacked up in the head. Narcissist, whatever you want to call it. He was a screw up. But the funny thing about it, one of the last games I seen, I think he might have been with the Cowboys or whatever, Phil Simms was doing some commentating or whatever, and one of the main things that I found that was completely interesting in what he said, yeah, he could sit out of here and stuff like that, but he could come on back and whatnot if he wants to come back and everything, it's here for him and stuff. He has a big arm and stuff like that. He can just get his head together. He can do this, that, and the other. That's the key. And now, Booger Mcfarland could have mentioned he could have said about, well, he didn't mention them guys there. He mentioned Jamarcus Russell for a reason, right? And I'm going to tell you why he mentioned Jamarcus Russell. Because Jamarcus Russell is a black quarterback. That's why he mentioned Jamarcus Russell without really going into details in it. And I'm going to give the details since he maybe didn't want to go into details because he still works for a particular company, right? Quite simple. Jamarcus Russell, who squandered, when I said he got picked when he was playing with, I said, first and foremost, Booger Mcfarland played at LSU. So Booger Mcfarland was going to have an inside track on what's going on with him back during that time, even when he was playing, right? Now, when I saw Jamarcus Russell, so big guy, big arm and stuff like that, one I always said, I told my partner, he weighs too much. He needs to get that shit under control. He does not need to be 260 pounds. He does not need to do that. He needs to get down to at least 240. Anytime a quarterback And this is mostly black quarterbacks I see. But anytime I see a quarterback, and it's like he has to damn near fold his damn face up to put inside of inside the helmet, we have a problem. Okay? My brother had a partner that ran with him and fucking around with that damn lean, which was got him out. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to come back to him a little bit later with just a little bit of something, right? But see, this is what I'm talking about. And so when he's talking about Dwayne Haskins and everybody's up in arms, he mentioned him, and he didn't mention them other guys because he's a black quarterback. He mentioned I'm not worried about them. The reason why Booger Mcfarland did that is because he know that the leash is short as hell for that of black quarterbacks. Jake Locker, Paxton Lynch, Johnny Manziel, and what's the other guy's name? Johnny Manziel, Jake Locker, okay, Paxton Lynch, Johnny Manziel, oh yeah, and Ryan Leaf. I said those guys now. Once as a quarterback, you get tainted as being that you're a disruption. That's a scarlet letter. See, right now, Dwayne Haskins has a scarlet letter on him because I just did some research and was finding out. Word on the street is that my man, even from last year, was late for meetings and was late this year for meetings. Now, mind you, you have a new regime that comes in there. Ron Rivera's used up to winning is a pretty good winning coach, pretty good coach, right? And whatnot. So you mean to tell me you're doing an audition? See, the problem with what has happened with Dwayne Haskins was hoping, go back to my October thing, what I talked about. Dwayne Haskins didn't think that, Alex Smith ain't gonna be back. That old 40-year-old joker, he ain't gonna be back. I ain't got to be worrying about what's the guy named Kyle Allen. I don't have to be worrying about him. He ain't got nobody looking over his shoulder. I do what I want to do. He's going to have to take me. He don't realize this is a business. And he didn't think he was going to have any competition. I told y'all, I said, no, they're going to get that thing back for Alex Smith. They was 6-4 back in 2018 or whatever that was, 2018, before the wheels came up because he got hurt and broke his leg. Okay? He didn't think he was going to have any competition. So he wasn't worried about that because you got to live with me. I was like, no, it's not that simple. And it's not rolling that way. And it's not coming that way now. You've heard he's taking reps now as far as Alex Smith is concerned. The point of it is the leash is short. That's what Booger Mcfarland was trying to tell these jokers. And that's what everybody is like, ran on 747 over the head, don't overstand. That's what he was trying to explain, but not saying it, is that the leash is short for you, homeboy. And you can't jack it up. He ain't said nothing about nobody. He said, no, those guys come in and talking about their brand. You're talking about your brand and stuff. Dude, in order to get a brand, you have to stay in the game and be on the field and produce in order to maintain and have a brand. You can't get a brand if you're not playing. Vince Young is supposed to still be in the league, probably by now as that old trusty old backup quarterback or whatever that put in 7 or 8 great years or whatever, and everything supposed to be Lamar Jackson before Lamar Jackson. No, you cannot take shoulder pads and throw them in the stands and expect having a hissy fit like a woman having hissy fits and throw them up in the stand and expect to still have your job. No, because the quarterback position, I don't care what race, is judged differently. Now, when you throw race up in it, it's definitely judged differently then as well. But you're the face of the franchise, and you have to conduct yourself in a certain manner. You're not a defensive back. You're not a running back. You're not a linebacker. You're not a defensive end. You're not an interior lineman. Different story. Different everything. The reason why Mcfarland said that, because he's talking about black quarterbacks. Let me run some names off to you guys. Y'all might have forgot about them. Be it Steve McNabb. Be it Ann Brooks, being Cordell Stewart, being Jeff Blake, pretty ball. Jeff Blake made an interesting statement and stuff like that or whatever. It's just like, and like I say, when you come in the league, right, you got Jeff Blake, Javid Garrard, Dante Culpepper, right? Some of these you guys may remember, some of you guys may not remember. Those guys had some solid, nice, pretty good, decent careers and whatnot. But Jeff Blake had an interesting thing when he said that he was with Bruce Cosler, I believe, for a minute with the Jets. And he didn't even learn anything about the offense. He said, if you're going to play for me, you got to know how to read defense. If you don't know how to read defense, there's no point. But it's like, Jeff Blake never was in a place where they was like embraced him as a starting quarterback. Even though, look at stats up. I'm not even going to stats. Look at stats up. Jeff Blake was nice. Throw that deep ball. You remember with Darnay, and then he had Carl Slim Pickens over there and whatnot. He threw one of the prettiest balls like Moon. People forget about that. The leash is short for them guys. That's the point. Paxton Lynch can come back in the league anytime he want to. If Dwayne Haskins get put out the league right now, Dwayne Haskins will not be able to come back in the league. I would put money on that. But he has a scarlet letter on being lazy and being late to meetings and not taking things serious. And I already peeped that out. And you're a black quarterback and you have that on your scarlet letter. I said, dude, you're just about done. You better not spend all that money. Instead of being on shows that say, what you do in your first million? What you do with your first millions? He need to have his ass in a playbook. Not taking the craft serious. Now, I've also seen other people brought up about, with Ben Roethlisberger and what he did this and he did that. Yeah, Ben was out there running around, and I'm going to tell you, I have a frat brother of mine. Shout out to Sunusi. KTC shut that to him. I told when Ben Roethlisberger was running around up in Georgia, is it Macon, whatever part of Georgia, Milledgeville, where he was at, running around up there with a party bus. Groping them college guys, doing all that. I ain't going to buy a lot of that stuff that he was doing. I said, because he looks like he can do a lot of that stuff. But like I said, he run around the college towns. He's in his 20s and stuff. He running around wilding. Right? College bus, he doing that. And doing all the stuff that he was doing. Motorcycle accident, he had all that stuff, groping with the girls and all this other kind of messing was going on. And I said, when that whole thing happened, I told my partner, I told my frat brother, I said, look here, this is what's going to get ready to happen with Ben. They're going to pull Ben aside. They're going to pull him aside. Right? And they're going to say, Ben, you better get together because you are on a flagship organization. You're winning. See, that's the difference. See, Ben was winning. Ben has always won since he stepped into the game, since he stepped into the league. He went. Ben was running around, groping, hanging out, hitting bras, doing his thing and stuff like that, caught up with him and stuff like that. I said, watch, violent, drinking, cutting up, not taking stuff there. And people was bringing that, and I seen different articles bringing that up. He was winning. He was winning. You cannot be not winning and pull that crap off as a quarterback. You see what I'm saying? And I told him, I said, the Rooney family pulled his ass aside. His people pulled him aside. He said, Ben, you're on the last thing. You gotta mess up, crash on that of the motorcycle. You better get it together. You run around here acting like a you know what. You can't do that. What you better do, if you got a girlfriend, get married, knock her up, and be family wholesome and stuff like that or whatever. 2010 came up, 2010, 11, whatever that was. He had them 4 games that he was suspended and whatnot, and he's been a model citizen for the last just about close to 10 years now. Right? You see what I'm saying? They pulled him aside because he's running around there wilding. Go to USA Today, paper. Look up on some articles about who be cutting up and acting a damn fool in these damn places. How many times? How many people do you see on What Did I Do With My First Million? How many white quarterbacks you see up there speaking about that? How many times you got home invasions of white quarterbacks, of white players in the NFL in problems? It's not that them guys don't have a problem. They don't put their business out in the freaking streets. That's the difference, man. And these young boys, they don't sit up there and they don't know any better than that. And I'm like, see, that you're making your... It's stereotyped for a reason. Certain stereotypes is going to always have some type of truth to them. Everybody might not be like that, but there's some truth to it. You follow what I'm saying? So, what Booger Mcfarland was trying to explain, and everybody went over everybody's head and said, no. He knows that your time, you're on the clock, partner. Now, I'm going to say this. Y'all remember Josh Rosen? Go back to when I was talking about it. I said Josh Rosen didn't even came out of college. Josh Rosen is on his, 3rd team? He's been in the league, 3 years? He's on his 3rd team. If they draft Kyler Murray in 2019, dude's gone. Send him to Miami. He doesn't do anything in Miami. Then they send him to I think the Pats, practice squad. The Pats. Now he's over with San Francisco. But you know what? You didn't see no pictures of him in a strip joint. And he's a major bust right now. Therein lies the difference. And that's what everybody better start looking at. I don't want to hear anything about trying to pet him on the damn head. Or he's, now he want to fire his agent. Oh, you want to fire your agent now? Okay. That's your fault, homeboy. You not taking your craft serious. Ask Vince Young. He wish he would have took his craft serious. Ask Michael Vick. Mike Vick still had a good career. Mike Vick should have been a Hall of Famer. Nah. Didn't take your craft serious. You playing and joking around. You want to go out there dog fighting. Jim Moore Jr. sitting there giving you DVDs to go there and look at it, go over plays. You just sit on your damn car. I'm going out. My athletic ability going to wave over that. The one thing I'm loving about sitting up there seeing guys like whether it's Russell Wilson, whether it's Lamar Jackson, whether it's Pat Mahomes, you don't hear nothing. The one thing about Lamar Jackson, he was speeding last year. My man, he wants to get that chip, as they say. I'm loving that. Guy like Haskins, you can't lose a game, be mediocre, and then it's not even about you per se being in a strip joint, because I guess that's woman empowerment now. Being in a strip joint, you're in a strip joint without a mask. Now you could have had your mask on, nobody would have said. You would have thought nobody would say nothing, but he was in a no-win situation. I'm gonna tell you why. Because even if you would have had your mask on, you are at a strip joint having a quote-unquote blast, and y'all just lost, and y'all in your playoff, and y'all in a run for a playoff spot, and you screwing around in the damn thing in a strip joint. Then add insult to injury, you don't have no mask on, and y'all lost. And you think because you made a couple, you went 25 for 50 and 300 yards, something like that, he think he honestly did something. This is what I'm talking about. So Booger Mcfarland was right. He's trying to hip the dude. He ain't telling the guys don't go out there and become a brand. But dude, in order to become, that's just like saying that, oh well, you get in the playoffs and whatnot. You ain't worry about the playoffs or whatever. Like, no. In order to get to a Super Bowl, you got to make the playoffs. In order to build a brand, you got to be in the league, which means you got to play. That means you have to represent. And that man has not done that. And he's been screwing up since he stepped into the league. So no, Booger Mcfarland got it right. All the rest of them jokers at Yahoo, USA Today, all them different places, all the different black journalists, female journalists, all them running around there talking. No, y'all missed the point. The leash is short. That's what Booger didn't want to come out and say. But I'll say it. The leash is short. Them other guys I named, those other white quarterbacks, they can come back in the league anytime they want to. Now, Manziel already put the scarlet letter on him. But he's still trying to play over in Canada somewhere. But the rest of them guys, they can still come in. Well, Leafy's past his prime. But Lynch and the rest of them other guys, Lynch and what's the other joker's name? Locker? Yeah. If not, he's probably still in the league. And this is what we're talking about. That's the important part about it. You follow what I'm saying? That's the important part. And whatnot. Just all you gotta do is just ask Vince Young. He didn't wish he would have did this. He wished he would have did that. But he didn't do it. You got to take your craft serious. And these guys is not taking their craft serious. And now he want to fire his agent. Now, it's people that's interested because he has a big arm. I think the kid can be a good quarterback. But he got to realize, wow, this is a business. This is a business. And you're the face of the franchise, and the face of the franchise cannot behave that way. And like I said, he mentioned Jamarcus Russell. He could have mentioned a bunch of bum running backs that came out that didn't do anything. Him, because he's a black quarterback and he knows that leash is short. All right? I went real long, almost like I did a damn podcast. Maybe I need to start doing that. You guys leave something in below. If anybody want to add on, want to rap about it, leave comments down below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the page and whatnot. We're going to try to get better for 2021. You guys have a good New Year's coming in. I'm going to damn sure try to have me one. I tell you guys all the time, there's no GOAT, there's no greatest of all time as long as time's still going on. And like I tell you, Numbers don't lie, get emotional. People do. You guys have a good one. Be safe out there in the streets. All right?